Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the January 2025 Executive Committee of the Board of Ed Retirement System. Today is Tuesday, January 28th, 2025, and the time now is 12:54.
So we have to wait for Tony.
Please be reminded that the committee meeting is being recorded and will be posted to the NYCBERS YouTube channel. I will now begin my call and roll. Frank Sarabella, absent. Donald Nesbitt, he's here. Greg Faulkner, absent. Anthony Giordano,
Present.
Marina Pollen.
Present.
We have a quorum. I'd like to make a note for the record that Alice Ho, trustee, is here. John Dorsa is here via video as a representative of Controller Lander. Now the agenda item one is
here. New trustee, Donald. You haven't met him.
Dr. Dr. D. New trustee is also here. Present.
Welcome, Dr. D.
Welcome. Agenda item one is to consider the minutes for both October 22nd and December 19th executive committee meetings, a summary of which was included in your packet. Sent prior to this meeting, may I have a motion to
Second.
motion Karina Pollen, second Tony Giordano.
Affirmation.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. We have agenda items for today, no agenda items for today. So we'll begin with introductory comments by Salil Mehta.
Okay.
Salil?
Hi, thanks. I just have very brief comments, and I wanted to review something that Sandy, myself, and Patrick Adoxia, we talked over the last few months, just trying to get a sense of where distributions and contributions are, not just kind of within the NYCBERS portfolio, but put it in a broader context. They put out a few annual reports, and I just want to show a couple charts from them, which I thought were interesting. And let's see. Hopefully, can folks speak up if they can see what I'm showing on the screen?
Mr. Dorsa, can you see that?
Okay.
I can see it, Sandy.
Okay, so
Thanks.
I mean, basically, it's not deep analysis. It's just the way they present the information. You can see contributions on the top for private equity, hovering around 40%. Distributions have been lagging slightly up until around 2022. Then it's fallen off a little more. It's kind of been like that for a few years. They also have a couple other interesting charts in other asset classes. For example, here we are in real estate. They show it in a different way. They show what's the contribution to distribution ratio. So essentially the ratio of this chart and this chart. Same thing. You see the hockey stick up around 2022. Again, in infrastructure, you see the sort of decline. So this is just information we want to share from the research that they have from their heads, which we talked to. And just, I just want to make sure I communicate that to you guys, because we often do have discussions about these data points. The other thing I wanted to mention is there's, let me just stop sharing that. Hopefully screen share is stopped. But I'm going to do some analysis that I think would be interesting given, we have like a year now where we've been looking at diversity statistics with our investments and the decisions that are being made at the at this committee. And so it's something that could be interesting that's unique to the data that we have is just showing what's the rolling rate in which we're approving BIPOC managers, both on a dollar basis as well as a numerical count basis. I'll do a first set just to kick it off at the next month's meeting, and I'll try roll it going forward. But that's just another way we're able to produce something that is both insightful in terms of what we do, but also unique and differentiated from, other sort of data sets that are out there and other good work that's happening kind of with the consultants and with BAM. So I just want to leave it with that.
Thank you.
Total.
Can I just add something to what Salil, going backwards to the cash flow questions? So if you look month to month systematically, BAM, because of the decisions this board has been making, has liquidated our core equity exposure in favor of new investments in private equity, which is why we are underallocated in core US equities and overallocated in private equities. And that will, every time we make a private equity decision, that's basically what will happen going forward. And that has negatively impacted our performance for the last 12 to 15 months. Salil would have more accurate
Yeah, I mean,
comment
this has
on
been
that, but-
consistent over the last 2 years and
2 years.
projected with the models I have with the actuary over the next at least 1.5 years. So
Yeah.
there's definitely a zone here.
Yeah, this is something that, we have target asset allocations, which we're failing to match in our US core equity, and we're way over in private equity. Way over. I mean, and we're at 12.5 last I looked. And don't be fooled by BAM's report that says our target is 12. That is the edge of the range around the target.
Tony?
Okay, so there seems to be like an issue that might be building on itself between a lack of contributions coming back from PE firms. We discussed this, I think, in a heightened level at the last meeting in terms of what the situation would be. And compound that with I support it, but the potential selling off of private equity pieces in March, which will be a reduction in which will definitely hit our performance rate, right? Because we're going to be flattening out. We're going to be hitting projected numbers, reducing minimally. If we're targeting 75% of the value of those assets, minimally we're going to have a 25% haircut on those pieces that we're selling. So
Right.
Across the board, we're hurting our performance, and I think we hang a badge on our performance. So what's our ability to counteract this and correct this
Yeah.
potentially?
Taxes will go down, rates, funding, everything. There's going to be more than just performance fee.
No, but I'm saying minimally.
Correcting this, yeah.
Well, I think that when we first brought this up about 6 months ago, we kind of acknowledged the fact Axia has worked with our team to reduce the expected growth of the portfolio, which actually basically puts a lid on the pipeline for private equity. We have slimmed it down. When you say no, it's not a big deal in private equity, in my opinion, even though BAM says it is because of the relationship risk. But I reject that out of hand because the rest of New York City is investing, and no PE sponsor knows the difference between NYCBERS and BERS. We're too small to make a real difference to them. So I would say we're just going to have to watch this for the next 3 to 5 years, Tony, because you can't make, even if Anash is successful in selling off a couple of $100 million of PE, that gets us close to the target, but it doesn't get us to target.
But we're taking a 75% haircut on the performance.
Which is, yep.
A 25% haircut.
Yeah, which is, well, it's mark to market, mark to market. And he's unlikely to be able to sell the junkiest without selling some of the good stuff.
Right.
So.
And we acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Right.
But we'll see. I mean, Anash is going to make the presentation, and it'll be up to you to decide whether you want to do that.
I'm posing this to my fellow board members, and maybe as a suggestion that we make to the full board. Given our goal and desire to have MWBEs, it seems like the internal Evergreen program seems like the best opportunity for us to get smaller managers that we've been talking about. Other managers that have been coming down the pipe most of the time are the big guys that we don't necessarily have as much interest in and won't necessarily care if we're not involved. Something that we need to think about as a board in terms of opening up the opportunity to get back into the Evergreen, which Anash has said is feasible. In fact, he told me recently that there's a manager, an MWB manager that's coming for close I think, end of February, that we could take action on if we're in the program. And then basically cut off the rest of it, right? Focus on what we want as a board and push away the other stuff.
I'd agree.
Yeah,
Not
that would be
waived.
my question, can we do that?
Evergreen program?
Right,
Can we be selective in the Evergreen program? We don't have to take everything.
right.
We just pick
Nash
and
will
choose
be at
what we
our
want.
February 11th meeting. He's on the agenda to discuss.
That would be the ideal situation.
Yep.
And the 75% on just this one year has ramifications to how you might want to discount.
That's true, right.
Yep.
But I mean, again, the hallmark of BERS has been our performance, and it.
Yeah, we don't want to stop that
because
now.
well, it seems like we are doing.
We're still doing okay, Tony.
No.
We're still doing okay.
The best performing system
Yep,
of the
we
last
still are.
fiscal. So
I'll take
that
it.
hasn't
I'll
been.
take
The sky isn't falling.
Not yet.
No, just a
That's
small
what room
piece.
you're
of
in.
it.
The secondary sale, I think it was approved during the December board meeting by you here.
Yeah.
So, okay, I thought you mentioned that Nash will present also the secondary sale.
Oh, no,
It's
no,
just
no.
the private equity.
No,
emerging
we
market.
get it.
He's just going to be presenting updates to the secondary
Okay, so yeah,
sale at
updates, yeah.
future meetings as they come in, like the marks and other proposals.
But I think the goal was right, 75% of
Yeah,
Just, and it depends on how you mix the milkshake, what you put in.
okay.
That all? Everyone good?
Hey, Sandy?
Yes, Mr. Dorsa.
Yeah, what's the timeline on the PE consultant RFP? Because I know Axi's role has somewhat changed with respect to the next couple of months.
Yeah, we have a running extension with our friends at Axia for, I believe, through March,
End of February.
end of February. Okay, so we will be proposing a further extension of that to cover a gap. The contract for our new consultant is with the law department. And our
Okay.
experience with that is it can be painfully long.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question. We didn't vote on, were they presented to us?
It'll be presented once the contract is vetted by the law department, and then the board has to approve it as contracted.
hasn't brought to the board.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I'm
you
just-
have to approve it. It's an expensive contract. Goes to the
Yeah,
board.
I'm just
But I
curious.
thought, my understanding was that you were gonna bring to us several to choose from, no?
We had a clear winner.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, that's something we considered, but it was a clear winner.
So it wasn't, we'll take it
Wait.
off.
That's
Yeah,
public-
it's better.
public session.
Okay, next item on the agenda is for executive session. We have a motion.
You want me to?
My second VP, VP's here.
Oh.
She's at
Oh.
executive session, but she's not out there. She found something
Oh,
to do.
okay.
No, yeah, she found something.
She got a bit offer.
So we'll report out on executive session. In executive session, the executive committee, we discuss and approve one private equity investment. This actually was the last item for today's executive committee meeting. The next scheduled executive committee meeting is February 27th at 12:30.
That's it.
May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move.
Efficient moved.
Karina Polland, second. Tony
Acclimate.
Giordano, all those in favor? Aye.
Wait a minute, what just happened here?
This meeting is adjourned.